Alright, Summoners, let's get into another week of the Pisslo podcast. This week it will be me with my co-host Wondermelo. We have a lot to talk about this week, especially for the new skins that are being released, some new champion birthdays, and pretty big patch notes. But, you know, we'll get to that when we get to them. We'll get to the LCS, and we'll have a fun segment at the end. So hopefully you guys are all enjoying that. And yes, Wonder, let's get into this.
There's so many new things, and especially with this skin line that I have been loving, the Space Odyssey skin line now. Especially Lux, I feel, is the most popular, and then a lot of people are really happy about Lulu. I think so, especially since her prestige actually looks like better than the original. It's just not a chroma fix, which is like so much better than before. And then of course Lux actually reminds me a lot of like Space Channel 5, that one girl from Space Channel 5, definitely getting those 80 vibes in addition to the space. And like the Gnosis, and like they all look so good, especially since like I feel like we haven't gotten really good male champion skins in a while, and like these definitely pass the vibe check.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, because I was thinking if I actually liked the Yone new battle skin, or if I just kind of liked the Yones in general, and I was just like, yeah, this is a good skin. But I think it's kind of a mess skin. So this Gnosis skin, I actually really like it. I think it would have been my favorite skin on the dance alone. It almost sold me on it, but I think it might be, for me, it might be a close between Blitzcrank and Lux, because I also really like Lux.
Yeah, chat, feel free to let us know your favorite. Rumble is my least fave. Yo, Rumble's, he's just trying his best out there. Like he ain't getting much play. He's just trying out there.
He's just trying his best.
Lots of Lux love, I see.
Lots of Lux love. I mean, Lux is a pretty popular champion, so they're definitely gonna do the best on her. The champion that I surprisingly don't like, even though I loved playing her in this set, is Samira. Cause for me, she seems really out of place.
Yeah,
like it's kind of it gives me the same off-putting as when they put Quinn as a heart seeker and they put her in like
that does not look like Quinn at all.
I was like, this
why?
is not this is not the
why
Quinn
would
that I've come to love. The big hoodied bird girl is definitely not what it looks like. But yeah,
no, I would like to see Urgot. Urgot could have gotten a skin like that. Super cute. I need more cute Urgot skins to run. Like,
I mean, after
right now, I just have cosplay.
After Star Guardian, I could see that. I could see that after Star Guardian, they just give him that new space skin, and then just put his old like some really space thing with music and stuff like that. I think that'd be really funny.
Yes. Also, other than skins, Wild Rift is actually finally coming out in at last in about a week, I think. So, are you planning to go and play some Wild Rift?
I don't like to admit this out loud, but I kind of want to spend money on that MF skin. Something about MF, the exclusive MF skin. I feel like I need it in my life, and I don't know why, but I just I want her in roller skates. I'm really in love with the Caitlyn skin with the Heelys, so the roller skates kind of it's speaking to me, and I don't know why.
Yes, and like the Misfortune skin, they're so pretty. Oh gosh. And all these league characters, it's also a few of their birthdays this week. For example, we had the Ezreal birthday earlier, and it's actually Lulu's birthday today. So today tastes very purple for a Lulu, that we may see her many times in the Rift, even though she's the least played champion in Legends of Runeterran. So
unlucky. Well, she's definitely getting love for her birthday with the new skin where she's going to get a prestige edition.
Yeah, it looks so good. And again, like it's not just a chroma recolor, it actually is a step up, which I really like that direction because I feel like a lot of the last couple of prestiges has just been like a yellow reskin. I was like, why was this needed?
Reset.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I think that's all of the news that we have for this week.
Yeah, pretty light on the news.
A lot on the news, but big on the skins.
Yeah,
the right way. Not a lot to go on, but a lot of skins. So the only thing we have to do next is to jump into the big patch note changes from this week, because there are actually a lot of big changes in the patch notes out of nowhere. And with that, we're going to need the Seanverse in the casino _law.
Yes. Yo, they had one job. They buff Urgot and then they it's like, why you gotta do that to me? Like, that's what I care about as a one trick. And they did that. And I'm like, why you gotta do that to my heart?
Why can't do that to the boy?
Yeah, the poor boy. He just wants to make friends.
Pain. Urgot just out here being stupid.
Yeah, we need KDA Urgot as suggested in turn for that. I feel it needs to be a thing. Yes.
Maybe
Well,
they'll raise KDA
welcome.
Urgot with the next KDA batch. You know, you never know.
Yes.
Male KDA. When is it gonna happen? Give me a.
Yeah, you know. Honestly, who liked Kaisa in that group anyway? Just
honestly,
get her
I
out.
mean,
Yeah, she
they
was
did her
pretty
dirty.
popular, I'd say.
They did her dirty.
Urgot's got the dance moves, dude.
True.
Sheesh.
Urgot. Yeah. Yeah. So we have a couple of changes this patch. First off, let's go over to systemic changes. Sean, could you walk us through those?
God, I really want to talk about the Immortal Shield Bow nerf. I would say heavy nerf.
Yeah.
Before the lifesteal was 12%, now it's down to 10%. The Lifeline lifesteal, which was absolutely ridiculous before, by the way, is now completely gone, and it's been replaced with a different passive. It's a Lifeline that now gives a shield, but it gives AD instead of lifesteal, and a bit more shielding in the early game and the late game.
So opinions on this change, like, how do you feel about it, Sean?
God, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't think this item is gonna be as viable as it was before. Like, champions that were picking this up before, like people like Yone and Yasuo, were just tearing through people because they would never die. Like, it just increased their survivability to a point where no champion would be able to out-trade them if that champion was getting auto attacks off, because they're just life stealing their entire HP bar back.
I mean, I think when an 80 carry item starts moving to different lanes, I think something went wrong. That's just my opinion.
And I do agree that Immortal Shield Bow is probably pretty overtuned. We saw it, I think, approaching almost 55% win rate as a first item for Fiora and almost 53 on Aurelia. And with Aurelia, that's especially pretty concerning because Aurelia has a base win rate of like 46%. So the fact that this champion is being viable for low elo when you're buying that item, it's overtuned. I feel like, however, like, I don't really like the direction that they're taking this item. I don't like the bonus 80. I feel like if they had kept the bonus lifesteal in some way and just nerfed it, because I feel like when you buy an item called Immortal Shield Bow, right, like the promise is play properly and you will never die, right? Like, every single item, right, it gives giving you a promise, right? Gale Force says you get to dash, right? Kraken Slayer says you get to do a lot of damage, and Immortal Shield Bow is you get to be immortal, right? And I think that, like, the bonus 80, I feel like obviously it does increase your survivability in some sense because, like, you're doing more damage, so you're getting more lifesteal. But I feel like that's a very convoluted way of going about increasing survivability. I think just giving them bonus lifesteal and nerfing it maybe would have been a much better direction. Because I feel like the 80 doesn't feel like it fits with the fantasy of the item at all. Like, I don't get why I would suddenly start doing more damage.
That's what I was saying. Like, I feel like this item is just going to become obsolete at this point, because like nobody's gonna pick up the item being like, I'd love to have a bonus 10 AD when my
we did it, boys!
Let's go.
An extra gold!
I can't believe I just got more. I just got the same amount of AD I could have gotten if I just waited 10 minutes on Gathering Storm. Wow.
Talon is not one-shotting me. That Talon is so fucking terrified. He's just sitting on the other side of the wall, fucking shaking. 1580, ooh, you know.
But on the other hand, I'm glad you mentioned Irelia, because I think the Immortal Shield Bow nerf is gonna bring Irelia back to her previous items, and on top of that, they're nerfing the item that she builds first, which is Blade of the Ruin King. They're lowering the lifesteal on that as well. Thank goodness, by the way, because Irelia is a menace.
Is a monster. Yeah.
Gotta slow down Bork gaming somehow.
yeah.
Let's also talk about Ravenous Hunter here. Now, for Ravenous Hunter, I believe they nerfed the amount of healing you get per stack, and then also removed the base amount of healing you received before. So previously, you received a base, I think, like 1.5% amount of Omnivamp, right? Just without ever having to stack it at all. If you guys don't know how Ravenous Hunter works, every single takedown you get on the enemy champion, you collect a bounty, right? So I kill the jungler, I get a bounty. I kill the top laner, I get a bounty. And these bounties translate to like bonus Omnivamp, right? Every single stack I get, every single bounty, I get more healing. So by the time, you're in the mid game and you've hopefully collected a takedown on every champion, right? You're having this. You have a pretty large amount of Omnivamp, right? So they removed the base amount of Omnivamp you get. So without stacking it, you used to get a very small amount. They're just completely removing that. What do you think about that, Sean?
God, dude, I kind of think of it from like Riot's perspective. I think when they're taking a look at the stats, and I don't know about you guys, but I can definitely see it almost every single game. Like people are gonna prefer to take something like Ravenous Hunter over like the other two bounty based, or not even bounty based, but like the movement speed one. Like they're not gonna take those. They're obviously the first choice is always gonna be Ravenous
Ultimate.
Hunter. Yeah, and I think that this nerf is directed towards like making those like rune options a bit more popular, because if everyone's taking Ravenous Hunter, clearly Riot's done something wrong. Like if one thing is preferred every single game over everything else, like it just lowers the like I guess the playability of like those options, which is terrible.
I think personally, like I think that they maybe took the rune in a bad direction this season. So if you guys don't know, previously in Season 10, Ravenous Hunter actually was exclusively only on ability damage. So let's think about a champion like, say, Diana, right? So Diana does lots of damage both through her auto attacks, right, with her bonus like on hit and the amount of attack speed she gets through her passive, and she does a lot of damage with her abilities, right? So she uses her Q, her W, her E, her R. These all heal her. So previously only her spells would heal her with Ravenous Hunter. Now her entire kit heals her, albeit at a lower rate, right? I think that's part of the whole Hunter rune set is that they all have like a niche, right? Like Ingenious Hunter is what used to be very strong with Hextech GOP and like Sonya's champions, right? Or if you're like an Everfrost or Luden's user, right? Like Ingenious Hunter is really good. Ultimate Hunter is really good for like Gangplank or Nocturne or these like really ultimate dependent champions, right? And I thought that honestly, previously Ravenous Hunter was in that niche too. There's some champions that really benefit a lot from lots of ability damage. Think like Brand, think Diana, think Yasuo. Like these abilities, these champions lots of damage with their abilities. And I feel like making it completely Omnivamp made that rune too generally useful, right? So now like you don't like every single champion wants this, right? Like why would you want Relentless Hunter on Glen to roam when you could heal back to full from literally anything you do with Goredrinker, with Ravenous Hydra, So I feel like I don't know. They made it too generally useful, and because of that, they have to make it weaker.
Yeah, I'm personally very happy to see this change. I'm going to be very excited to see like the other runes becoming a bit more prominent in my games, especially in my own builds as well, because now I can finally take something else instead of being like I have to take Ravenous Hunter because it's completely busted.
I personally love the Ingenious Hunter synergy with Luden's Echo. Sorry, Luden's Tempest. Right, it like decreases the cooldown of that little burst of damage. So especially on damage over time champions with like the new buff that Luden's got last patch, right? You're gonna be proccing that like burst of damage really, really quickly, and I think that'd be pretty cool. There's lots of things to try out next patch.
I think we're gonna move.
Try Luden's on someone, and I can't remember who. Oh, someone told me to try it on possibly Katarina's ult, but I don't know if that would even work on the.
I don't think that sounds very good.
Yeah,
All right,
I don't think it's gonna work.
I don't think that sounds good. 600 mana wear. Let's talk about champion changes.
Yeah. Yes. I think we should start off with like one of the biggest champion changes. I think Akali. She's got a lot to go through with her.
God!
I got destroyed by her the other day.
Give us the rundown. Give us the rundown.
I'm just gonna give you guys like the numbers here. Her health is being reduced at the very beginning, down by 75 HP, which is a huge nerf to her early game. Health growth is increased though. Passive mark, her passive no longer gives her energy back when she procs it, so that's her little spinning little Kama thing. Her 5-point strike,
20 energy.
Yeah, her 5-point strike is now like energy decreased by a major amount at the late game. Before it was 100 at the max level, now it's down to 70, which is absolutely amazing. Twilight Shroud now gives her an additional 80 maximum energy when used. Which gives tons of potential for her to like be able to pop off, especially in the late game. Sure, you can flip now, just to make it easier for you guys, so we don't go through the numbers. It has a huge AP ratio now. Like you proc the second part of this ability. Yeah, it does a mother load of damage. And Perfect Execution now just has a 30% AP ratio in the first dash damage.
So a couple of things here to talk about the Akali rework, right? This is based almost a rework, right? This is making her significantly easier for lower players. Like I think they're focusing on with this change is like execution threshold, right? So like previously Akali has a huge amount of potential in her kit that was very, very difficult to execute on, right? Like think if you want to have optimal energy cost, you needed to proc Q and then you need to hit with that passive like Mark, in order to restore energy to keep yourself going in the fight, like so you can use abilities, right? The other thing about it is that a lot of like her perfect engage combo before was like where you like E and then E2 buffer Q W, and there's like a bunch of stuff that you needed to do in order to get that energy up so that you're making maximum use of the energy restored that her passive, sorry, that her W used to give. Now it just gives you as maximum energy. There's no need for you to do all that buffering. You can if you want. A lot of Akali players with that muscle memory will be doing that, but like it's just easier to play this champion. It's much easier. The energy is much easier to manage. So yeah, and you do a lot more damage too. Like it's just you're one shotting people.
Yeah, one
As
thing
a-
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say, as the Katie lyric goes, Kali go to work, Kali go burr. She is absolutely popping off. I actually wonder if maybe we're gonna get a new skin of her soon, just because we do see the
I wouldn't doubt
often
it.
they'll try to buff. Usually they'll buff a champion and then release a new skin. And I wonder if people are complaining too much about Lux. It's just they'll be like, oh, here's tossing the Kali skin at you, make you happy.
Yeah, Akali is a very popular champion, especially in
I love
regards
her.
to receiving a lot of skins.
I have all.
Yeah.
Yes, she's a very pretty, nice young lady in League of Legends.
True.
That's one way to put
Very
it.
true.
All right, where are the Akali stands out here?
Right
Yeah,
here.
I'll-
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm right here. I love Akali and I love playing her. I played her a lot. I actually played her a lot pre-rework. I feel like it was like me and 5 other people in the entire world who actually played pre-work Akali, and I actually really liked it. To some degree, I actually prefer old Akali to the new one, but the new one, the animations are so clean that I didn't really like it. But
Yeah.
when I watch Spires kick someone in the back of the head and kill them at full HP, I said, "Wait a minute, hold on." Something
Yeah,
else-
that E2 is
something's not
just
right here.
it's really bursty now. One thing to note about Akali though is that previously, especially in the mid game, right? Sorry, not in the mid game, in the mid lane, right? She's considered to have like a weak early game, right? Like her energy costs used to be pretty high early, right? That's why a lot of times she takes fleet footwork to give her the movement speed and the healing in order to take better trades in the mid lane, right? Now that problem is actually going to be a lot worse. The first thing to note is that fleet footwork actually got nerfed for AP champions last patch. Right, so that's one of her big runes that helped her sustain in mid lane. It's getting nerfed. Also, her energy costs are significantly higher in the early game, like very, very high, and she also has obviously less HP. So think to yourself, if you want to counter Akali, think to yourself champions that can abuse her before her that like big level 6 absurd power spike. Think maybe like Lucian mid, maybe Malzahar. There's these champions that can zone her off the wave. That's really how to counter her because now she scales like out of control, right? She actually has a bunch of HP. I think I was playing Akali top in ranked last night. I had like 3,400 HP at level 17. Like,
What? Wait a minute.
I was like, okay, right? Like, think to yourself, we need to like, this is a very, very scaling champion now. Like, you want to stomp on its throat in the early game and prevent her from taking over your game. 6.
They broke
Absolutely.
Akali. Whoops.
Oops.
Yeah. I think the
You
next
want to talk
champion
about the Zinsao remaster?
Yeah, absolutely. The next
Yeah.
the next big change is the Xin Zhao. He received some very, very interesting changes, most importantly to his W and his E ability. I'm not going to
Yeah.
go through the nitty gritty because there's a lot of number of changes here, but the most important changes were to his W. His W's range is now incredibly long. On top of that, whenever you hit your W on someone, it reveals them for 3 seconds and challenges them. And you might be thinking,
Yeah.
why is that important? Why is it important that his W is long and it challenges people now? And that's because his E ability now has a range of 1,100 on challenge enemies, which is absolutely
yeah.
insane.
For some context, let's think about that, right? Ash's auto range is 750, so literally 50% more than Ash's auto range. He's gonna be zooming across the map. Don't ask me how it works, but he stabs you and he just I guess he just gets the motivation. He can jump
cries.
faster right now. Yeah.
His ability to
mad.
catch people,
He's mad.
Yeah. His ability to catch people and stick on people is going to be absolutely insane now. And
Yeah.
on top of that, he's also getting a big buff to his AP ratios. His W has an AP ratio
AP
as well as
ratio,
his
baby.
ultimate. People have been
Yeah.
brushing Gnasher's tooth on this champion, which is very, very interesting especially for someone like Xin Zhao, who's been known to be an AD challenge, like I guess like fighter type of champion.
Yeah, statistically though, these AP builds are still not as viable as traditional lethality, or currently Immortal Shieldbow and Triforce are also doing well. If you're going to be trying out the new Zinzao, go ahead and try out like Eclipse first. I think it's the most generally useful item. But also Immortal Shieldbow, Triforce, Strybreaker, these items are all like over 50% win rate on him. Like they're pretty good items. I think they all generally perform about the same. Nashor's Tooth Rush has a 40% win rate. I would not recommend it, but you know, if you want to have some fun with your friends, you want to say, "Hey, AP's Intel, Nashor's Tooth on hit effects." Go ahead and try it out. I mean, hopefully not in ranked. Yeah, it heals for a lot.
Oh yeah, the heals are tremendous.
Taking into a couple of drafts before you take that one in a flex. Hold on to that one.
Yeah. Finally, real quick, let's go ahead and talk about Hecarim and Urgot nerfs. Hecarim got a nerf to his clear. It's the same thing as Kayn before, I think, in the preseason, where he received a nerf to his main clear ability. Right, this really, really, really hurts junglers, especially when like these jungle camps aren't giving you as much as XP. Right, just for some information, he received 10 damage off his Q at all ranks, I think. I mean, if you've ever played Hecarim, his clear is auto Q. You're using this ability literally every 2 seconds. That's 10 seconds. 10 damage every 2 seconds. I mean, it's a big nerf to his clear, so expect less Hecarim coming on.
And if you guys have noticed, like, Hecarim's been just building pure tank recently. Like, it's no longer like a Triforce rush build.
Tank.
Yeah, Turbo Chem Tank.
Turbo Chem Tank.
Turbo, baby.
And I think Riot saw this and they were like, huh, why is it that Hecarim is allowed to build a pure tank build and still be able to dish out pretty much the same amount of damage as he did before? And they're probably like, okay, maybe we should just nerf a bit of the Q damage.
And this is specifically a nerf to tank Hecarim, right? Because they didn't touch the AD ratios on his Q at all, right? So that base damage, when you're not building any AD, it's just gonna feel a lot worse, right? However, I mean, just because Turbo Chem Tank Hecarim was good didn't necessarily mean that like Bruiser Hecarim was bad. Triforce and Divine Thunder Hecarim still had above 50% win rate. Like this champion is just absurd. The gank potential, the ease of execution, honestly, right? The versatility. Good thing they nerfed it. Also, Urgot nerfs. They reverted the on hit.
My one trick.
Yeah, they reverted the on hit buffs. Previously, it went from 50% to 75%. This was to reintroduce Kraken Slayer Urgot. If any of you guys liked playing that shit,
once, never again.
It's not good.
No.
This is a really good targeted nerf. I think Urgot, even in solo queue with Strybreaker, was just like breaking a 53% win rate. But if you were one of those Urgot players who knows how to do the W cancel and was rushing Titanic Hydra, you were hitting 57% win rate on your first item. That's completely absurd. Yeah, I mean, Titanic Hydra needed to be nerfed on that champion, and instead of obviously nerfing that item, they're nerfing the champ's on hit modifiers, which is like totally okay. I think it's well deserved.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, imagine knowing how to auto cancel at an appropriate
time. You don't even need to. Honestly, you don't even need to in your one shot. Like, yeah.
Too big brain for me. I just like.
Let's go ahead and talk about our champions of the week, right?
Yeah, yes. I think we're gonna go to the champions of the week here. So you can start us off in the top lane.
Yes, starting off in the top lane, let's go ahead and talk about Wukong. This champion, feels horrible to play against.
Return to monkey.
But yeah, return to monkey. If you guys are tired of learning how to trade, of learning how to lane, learning how to do all these sorts of things, Wukong is a champion for you. EQW, that's a free trade for you. E level 1, auto ignite, that's the kill for you. This champion is absurd in team fights, absurd on the split. I think that obviously I'm simplifying things. This champion does have a lot of nuance to it, especially with the W. You can dodge lots of skill shots. And overall, I think that it's really rewarding to put time into this champion, and really lane dominant as well, which works well in low elo because your opponents will often get solo killed 4 times and tilt out of the game. You know?
Yeah. Definitely Wukong is like seen as one of, I think, in my opinion, one of the best top laners right now. But yeah. I want to bring a champion into the highlight. Gragas. Guys, I know Gragas may, on the outside, may seem like a very difficult champion. Like, oh, you got to do like your little combo where you like
EWQ,
ferment the barrel and whatever. But who cares about that? Yeah, guys, who cares about that when you can, the ability to trade with Gragas, up until level 6 and even beyond that is absolutely insane. Gragas can get free damage on an enemy champion, reduce their HP to half, and not take any damage in return. That's just because his E ability is so dang powerful. Like he just ease onto them, they're stunned. You do your entire combo, you walk away with phase rush. It's tremendously powerful right now. If you guys are looking for a new top
The
lane
other
to
thing,
try.
the other thing about Gragas is that his E hitbox is like way bigger than it reasonably should be. So a lot of these other champions, these bruisers in the top lane, rely on dashes. You know, yeah. I mean, not way bigger than it should be, like reasonable size for the size of this lad, right? But like, it beats out a lot of other champions' dashes, and a lot of other champions like rely on that in order to trade. Think like Camille needs to hit her E, Jax wants to Q onto you. You're gonna be beating out all of these abilities with Gragas E, and then walking away phase rush and Q, and that's the trade, baby. You know.
All right, I think we're gonna move on to the jungle here. If you want to start us off.
Let's go ahead and talk about Shaco. I think Shaco is tremendously powerful, especially in low elo. Again, I think I talked about this last week, but I mean, the stats like back me up here. The champion just is absolutely absurd. They finally gave him the buff to be able to clear his jungle, and it's I mean, it's feeling great, right? You clear your buff without a leash, right? You go up behind the mid laner, level 2, auto Q, ignite, whatever the hell Shaco players do, and yeah, that's the kill, right? Yeah, just the champion is absurd. Really, really rewarding to put time into. Tons of fun builds to try out. I saw a Sunfire Cape Titanic Hydra Shaco in my last ranked game, and he went like 15-2. So just try it, whatever. The champion's really rewarding. It's really, really like fun and pretty easy now too, I think.
Yeah. What about Everfrost? I see suggested in the chat. Do you have experience with Shaco and Everfrost?
You know, I think that Shaco players build whatever their heart desires on the day. You know, I've seen Gale Force, I've seen
the versatility of the champion.
I've seen Kraken Slayer, I've seen Moonstone Renewer. I don't know, dude. Just build Moonstone because it heals the clones. There's a lot of like interactions that Shaco has with his clones where he heals himself with Moonstone. I don't know, just build like device.
People are weird. Shaco means are weird.
Yeah. Shaco's weird. The champion does what it needs to do, regardless of what items you have.
Just do a challenge of buying every mythic at least once.
It'll probably work. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, but we're gonna move on to the next jungle suggestion from me, Elise. I played a lot of Elise back in the day when Elise first came out. I'm still an incredibly big fan of how much damage and crowd control this champion can bring out, especially in ganks. Like, if you're in a game and you feel like your laners have like easy CC to land, like point and click CC, someone like Renekton, you pick up Elise. It's so easy for you to land a straight line skill shot that moves at the speed that her cocoon does. This champion's great at ganks, does tons of burst damage, and once you hit that late game, your W is not a difficult ability to land. That spider is gonna chase people down and blow them up. Like it's incredibly powerful.
Yeah, it's so powerful on the turret dives too with the repel, just dodging the target ability. Yeah,
absolutely.
Let's go ahead and talk about the mid lane. The first champion I want to bring up is Nico. I think this champion is really, really, really strong right now. It just is super powerful in lane. That W bonus damage on hit. I start W honestly in the mid lane. You just auto them to death. Like, what's even the point of trading? But like your EQ combo with Electrocute, with Proto Belt especially, you can also do tons of cool plays, tons of room for mastery if you know how to use your clones properly. You know, you can turn into your jungler in the bush and then put your jungler into the lane and then turn back into yourself and flash in with an R. Like, just do stuff. It's really, really fun. Protobelt gives you lots of options. Zhonya's gives you lots of options. Tons of outplay potential. And I mean, outplays are what you can make them in low elo, right?
Nice. Yeah, my choice for mid lane is definitely going to be Rumble. Rumble, my boy Rumble. This champion just outputs a tremendous amount of damage. Like, you would be surprised. I've seen people just completely, like, fear for their life. Like, 1 second, they're full HP. The next second, Rumble is hitting you with his, like, empowered Q and his ultimate, and you're already dead.
Yeah.
And that on top of low cooldowns, free shields, increased movement speed on his W. Like,
no mana.
No mana cost. This champion is I think right now a bit overpowered in the mid lane.
Especially with Scorch, especially with Arcane Comet. But if you want to run like the Electrocute, like Ignite setup, like you can do all that too. I think that it's just the trading is so abusive. The damage is crazy. He's like the only champion that gets rewarded for using their abilities more. Like, what? Yep. Like, I can only think of like Cass and R, and that's it.
If you like spamming, Rumble's there for you.
Perfect champion for me. I gotta try it out. Mid lane.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about bot laners. I'm gonna go ahead and put in Swain. This champion has been absurd since season 10, since this season, especially in low elo. People aren't gonna be spacing around their auto attack range properly. They're not gonna be using unlocked camera 100% of the time. They're gonna be getting caught by your E, and if you're AD carry caught by Swain Z, I mean, if anybody of you guys play support or AD carry, you guys already know the answer to that question. It's an electric cube proc, it's a soul, it's a dead AD carry, it's 300 gold in Swain's pocket. The champion's also just really strong in team fights as well with R, so you're going to be doing the damage of an AD carry, right? Maybe not sustained targeted DPS, but in that team fight AoE, that damage over time, that big burst at the end of your R, it's like the same thing. And their AD carry probably isn't doing competing damage if they're dead in your E and R, so just go ahead and try it out. It's still sitting at like a 56% win rate. Try it with its support with CC, right? If you're going like Nautilus Swain, that's a Q, that's an E, that's soul procs for days. Go ahead and try it out.
Just try the communist bird.
Just try it. Just do it.
Oh my god.
He's incredibly powerful, like especially in the hands of someone who just can land every single ability. Especially
it's so impressive. The W, all that.
Yeah. All right, my pick for the bottom lane. If you guys can see a trend in the champions I'm picking for the next 3, they're gonna have new skins in the next couple of patches. I'm picking Samira. Have you guys seen that skin for Samira? Yo,
it's so hot.
Dog,
It's alright.
It's not like hot. It's
I
just
don't like it. I really don't like it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't think it's hot, but I think it's really cool. I think it's
just
really
yeah. Like the roller skate. She has like a nice energy about
her. It just doesn't fit her like canonically.
Yeah,
That's why
I
I don't
liked
like
her
it.
psyops much better, personally.
Psyops makes sense. The whole why? I don't understand.
Guys,
I don't know. I don't think this
this
whole Space Groove skin line doesn't make much sense. I'm just having fun with it.
Like if you
dude.
put
She's
that on her
farting.
map, it makes more sense.
Disco ball on her R, like I'm for it, dude.
So Samira is like a stylish type of champion. So I think with the style that she has, she can pull out something like a Space Groove. But the reason I picked Samira for this specific show is because one of my friends who just started off playing League picked up Samira, and this man's been getting pentakill after pentakill. The ability for Samira to be able to pop off in a team fight and be able to pop off with her R ability and just reset on every single champion is absolutely insane. And I think it still holds true even after those nerfs. Like right now, Samira, if you're still willing to pick up Samira and still willing to play her in the bot lane, she's still able to have that ability to completely destroy a team fight.
Yeah, and she's scaling well too. Her win rates reflect.
I heard that she scales better now
well.
into the late game than she did before. Like she has all these nerfs and
of
changes,
course.
but she scales better into the late game.
100%. I think that if you want to be picking up Samira, just understand that you need to, I think, be very good at jungle tracking. Her escape is like other champions without escapes, like immobile AD carries, think like Ashe or like maybe like all these other champions. They don't have a dash. They're not necessarily as important to track the jungler because you're not necessarily going all in into the middle of the lane in order to trade or like in order to go for an all in. But with Samira, right, you're dashing in and you're going for these WQ, all these plays, right, in order to maximize your damage. So if you're doing that and then say their jungler comes in, right, you're really, really screwed now. You can't E out. So just like make sure to understand where the jungler is. Think to myself, can I go for this all in? And if you do, you will win. Like, that's what Samira's all about. Yeah, finally, let's go ahead and talk about supports. I want to talk about Rakan. I think Rakan is not honestly that hard to pick up. I think that he has a pretty simple game plan. Lend your W, lend your shields, lend your heals, lend your Rs, right? But I think the champion has a big, like it's not hard. You're not going to int on your first game in Rakan, but it has a big room for improvement. I think that he has a lot of control over solo queue games. His roams are incredibly strong. If you want to bull full AP proto belt on him, you can, right? Just try out different things. You can help your jungler, you can help your mid, you can help your support, your AD carry support. I think it's a really strong champion, especially now. So.
Yeah. On the opposite spectrum, we got someone like Lulu, who's more of a pocket shielding, I guess, buffing kind of support. Not much of a roamer. But if you're looking to pick up someone who's purely going to be able to protect your team, protect your AD carry, and ensure that he or she is able to pop off, definitely pick up Lulu. This champion is, I think, right now, incredibly powerful.
Getting a new skin, I hear.
Yes!
And getting a new skin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love her.
Oh.
There's
When in doubt,
yeah,
if I can give you guys any advice, when in doubt, just pick Seraphine. Quad flex the Z tier champion because why not?
True.
Yeah, dude. It's just so absurd, man.
Yeah. But those
All
are all of our
right,
picks
and
for
if that's all
the
the
champions.
champions, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank
Yep.
you for all of your suggestions today. Again, like I'll definitely keep those in mind as a Pisslo player myself. So thank you for definitely your input on all of that and the meta changes.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, thank you so much.
See you guys
All right,
later.
Talk to you guys later.
Oh, see
Later,
you.
guys.
All right. Next up, we're going to be actually going on the LCS playoffs week. Lots of things going on within the LCS bracket. This is going to be a time.
Yeah, we're gonna have Can't Spell and the Spires actually coming up here to talk to us as we discuss all of our thoughts coming into playoffs. Because the regular season of Spring Split is over. Welcome, Caleb and Can't Spell.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hello.
Pretty good.
Welcome,
Hey.
welcome.
Welcome! Playoffs!
Playoffs.
We're
Let's
here.
go!
We're finally here!
We're here.
finally here.
Let's go, dude.
So at the very beginning of like the split, that felt like yesterday, and now we're all the way here in playoffs. We're about to have our mid-season winner. Like this is kind of cool. Like I feel like all the teams that are here right now actually deserve to be here. Like all the teams that have gotten knocked out have kind of like been a little shaky. But so this is our schedule though. We have C9 versus 100 Thieves, and then we have TSM versus Liquid. So
Ooh,
It's
that's a good one.
pretty banger of a series to start us
Yeah.
off today with TSM versus Liquid.
Oh, are those games today?
Yeah, it's the 20th.
Ooh.
Yeah, it starts pretty soon too, so people are gonna want to be watching this for sure right after the
Absolutely.
Moonstone. But yeah, so before we jump into this, we also got news that we have an all pro team.
Mhm.
So this
Yeah.
was released from Riot or LCS. The all pro team is out. And so far it is kind of what you expected. We have 3 C9 players and 2 T Liquid players.
My boy,
Yeah.
Blabby.
Yeah, so
First team all
There it
pro.
is.
yeah, I look at this roster and I think, you know what? I think everyone on this kind of deserves to be there. So we'll start from the top though with
Mhm.
Alfari and kind of go down. So Caleb, you want to give your 2
Yeah,
cents?
so I think Alfari's a good pick for top lane. I really don't think there's really been a lot of other contention from a lot of top laners. Like maybe you could make an argument for maybe Impact, or like I think everyone thinks Fudge, like despite being on a top tier team, hasn't really performed at like as a top tier top laner, right?
Mhm.
I don't think he's necessarily had a bad split, but I mean I don't think he's ever like contested in the way like Alfari has.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Alfari is I think it's probably out of the 5 roles, I think it's probably the clearest option, for the all pro team, in my opinion.
Yeah. Alfari, yeah, potentially Impact. Moving down to jungle, I think Blabber's good. I don't know if you know this, Caleb, but your screen's just like blinking.
Oh, is it? Wait,
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I don't know why.
But yeah, for jungle,
There you go.
I think Blabber is a pretty good choice. Again, potentially Santorin, but I think Blabber's kind of been consistent all splits. Towards the end, he's kind of fallen off.
Mhm.
But you know, Cloud9's already like whatever. We're already like almost locking first place, so we can just do whatever they want. So he's had some questionable games, but still the fact that Cloud9 has had such dominance, it makes sense that Blabber is up here, and he's still one of the junglers that, you know, even if you're not too familiar with the LCS, like other regions are still looking at this guy like, oh, he could be a potential threat. So for sure,
Yep, one of my
Blabber makes
favorite
sense.
jungler. He's
Mhm.
he's brought home a lot of fantasy points for me.
That's true. That's
Personally.
true.
It's true.
Yeah.
My boy Blabby, dude, my golden horse.
hmm
Yeah, I think he's definitely been like the kind of like the conduit of Cloud9's victories. They really play around jungler. And so I think Blabber's probably like if there was one player that made the most impact on Cloud9, I think Blabber's definitely, you know, the impact of Cloud9.
Yeah, sure.
Moving down to mid, we have
Someone I know. Let's go.
C9 Perks.
Yeah.
He came over this
Birds,
split.
baby.
He was a little iffy, I think, at the beginning, right? I don't think he like had that outstanding, what we expected him coming into with the, how big of a name he is.
Mhm.
I think he's still every once in a while we see him getting caught in a fight, and like losing the game. I think that happened 2 weeks ago. But I mean, I guess you could maybe make an argument that it could be Jensen or it could be PoE, but I don't think their teams have been as consistent as Cloud9. I think a lot of these Cloud9 players, it's really you look good because you're on a good team, right? So while Jensen is good, I think as a team they've not, obviously this isn't peak Team Liquid or this isn't peak TSM. So while PoE is good, we haven't seen like peak TSM yet. So I think Perks looks good and is good right now because obviously he is good, but he's also Cloud9 as a team works really together, works well really together.
Yeah, and coming from EU, he literally played 2 seasons of AD carry, and now he's like all pro #1 for mid lane in LCS. So very good on him. Even though he did not go deathless in the lock-in tournament like he tweeted, I think he deserves it. Just for the amount of pressure he puts with Cloud9 going against these like top teams. Like, if they're like looking like they're losing a fight, you just see Perks just go all in and like kill everyone. So it makes sense. And then going down to the other G2 members, Sven, you can't. I don't even think there's anyone that can contest him. Honestly, I think Sven is just the best AD carry right now. There is no one in NA. I think that can even stand up to him. So this totally makes sense that he is first for AD carry.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the other top 2 teams, when everyone's talking about who do we think is going to win finals, a lot of people are saying TSM, Team Liquid, or Cloud9. And the 2 AD carries on the other 2 teams are rookie players, right? It's Lost and Tactical. And while Lost isn't necessarily like the most rookie of a player, he has played before, right? He was on, I think, Echo Fox a few years back. And Tactical was still, this is maybe, I think, his second or third season or split like that. And so Sven is just, he's a veteran. He's played on a lot of teams. He's the first player to win both an A and an EU title. And yeah, I mean, he's playing at peak performance. I think we can all look back to the lock-in tournament or when they were against 100 Thieves, and he gets the back-to-back pentakills in his games. And yeah, and then moving down, finally we have Core JJ.
Yeah,
I think maybe this is the one I would say that could be the most like debatable or arguable. I think Vulcan has had a really good split. I would even say players like Afromo have had a really good split, or Sword Art has probably had a pretty okay split. Maybe not the best, but I think there's been a lot of contention in the support role, and there's been a lot of good supports this split. I think Cortez J is good, and I definitely don't blame for all the voting. I think Cortez J is a solid first pick, but I'm sure if we looked at the points, maybe it contends more for maybe a lot of people think Vulcan as well. So
yeah, 100%, and like it's just kind of like this synergy with the AD carry too. You kind of have to take into account. And Core JJ, he's still with a rookie. Like this is only Tactical's second split, so he's done well considering the fact that he's paired up with this rookie. It's not like Vulcan and Sven who have had like multiple games under their belts and whatnot. So yeah, there could be huge arguments for like a lot of these supports. I'd even like talk about like who he on 100 Thieves. Like all these people have actually been like pretty decent. So, but it does make sense that Core JJ is up there. I feel like a lot of these wins that Team Liquid has gotten in this split in particular has been off the plays of Core JJ. Like sometimes Liquid would just like kind of run it down, and then all of a sudden Core JJ just makes this insane rel engage that like destroys like the AD carry of the opposing team. So it makes sense that he is #1. But yeah, again, this is probably the one with the most arguments against it that it could be someone else. But yeah, overall, I think this All Pro team is pretty good. I kind of predicted almost all of it. I actually put Dardock up there for jungle, which is like super surprising. But honestly, man, it's just he's had like the most fun playing. So
That's true. You know, he did have the A to Z jungling for a hot moment, like a different jungler single game.
I
But
thought that was
yeah,
super.
this is our first team All Pro, and that's it. So we can go ahead and start moving into the playoffs predictions here.
Yes.
Yo.
So our first game today is TSM versus Team Liquid, and TSM is currently 2-0 over Team Liquid just in the regular split. So even though a lot of people are leaning towards Liquid, the fact that TSM has already beat them twice, you know, what's that say? Like, what do you guys think for this week, Wondermelo? Like, do you think TSM will continue their wins against Team Liquid, or what do you
I
guys
think
think?
it's a weird way to say this, but I feel like TSM always ends like the beginning of the split, and they definitely entered this week with or this split with Power of Evil. I think Power of Evil looked terrible at the beginning. I was like, wow, what a horrible pickup. I'm not saying he looks any better now, but the team as a whole has definitely come together, and they're starting to win because around these times where the playoffs comes, TSM starts to pick it up. So if they're picking it up, and I don't know if Team Liquid is, they're like kind of not coin flipping, but I feel like they've made mistakes that TSM could probably bring a win home for them. So I don't think like if TL looked a little like if they just tightened it up a little bit better, I would have gone more for them. But I think this is like the time where TSM shines. So I think TSM is probably gonna win TSM versus Liquid, and then 100 Thieves versus Cloud9. It's not even close. Cloud9.
Yeah. Also 2-0 against 100
Yes.
Thieves.
I'm gonna go and say Team Liquid just to be contrarian. Liquid put out a really sick like Naruto like clothing line. I'm not even
Yeah, I
into
saw
it.
that.
It just looks really good.
It looks so cool.
Fire. So I want to
Yeah.
support them simply because of that. Like they put out some great collaboration. They did a like Marvel collaboration. Like they doing all this stuff. So 100 Thieves, watch your back, watch your clothing's back because Team Liquid is coming for you.
Yeah.
Even though C9 is probably gonna win against 100 Thieves.
I'm just not. I'm just like who loses that many games off of the draft and then off of a late game mistakes. As a top tier team, I feel like 100 Thieves is always they're good. They're good at fulfilling the disappointment. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
They're always there. If you need a team to draft terribly and end up losing the game off of a late game mistake, I think 100 Thieves is always there for you.
Yeah, honestly, I feel they're more well known for their like than their actual like esports teams. Like that's really where it drives. But when I think 100 Thieves, I don't think really esports. I think content
Put in
creators
Nick
and
Burks.
streamers.
Put in the Fortnite team. Let's see if they can.
Yeah. Yeah, the
bring it
Fortnite
together.
team may beat C9. But yeah, I don't know. Like this match today, I think it already looks like a finals matchup. Like this is something we saw last split, you know, TSM versus Team Liquid to fight for world spots. So, you know, this is like I think TSM has a slight edge, but again, this is Team Liquid we're talking about. They were back to back to back to back winners. Like the fact that they've made it because they had kind of a rocky split too. Like they were down a few games and people were just like they're not even top 4, and then they made this like great comeback. They had a 3-0 week and it was like, you know, they slowly built up. So it's gonna be very interesting this game. And then yeah, I think tomorrow is just gonna be a C9 sweep, but you never know. It's League of Legends. Chokes happen so much.
You never know with NA.
Yep.
You never know
I mean,
with
someone
NA.
may just getting the buff 1 week and then they
Yeah.
clothing line and like it just increases how
Clothing
good
buff.
their League of Legends teams are.
Exactly. So just following next week though, so the loser of TSM versus Team Liquid will face Evil Geniuses, and the loser of C9 and 100 Thieves will face Dignitas. Personally, I think Evil Geniuses has the very short end of the stick here. They're either facing TSM or Team Liquid, and it's gonna be really tough for them to win. So I don't. They're kind of like backs against the wall right now.
Yeah, I think
I feel like I would give it to EG versus EG and TL though.
Really?
you'd give it to
think
TL.
so.
EG.
Maybe. Nah.
EG
Actually,
wins
no.
Worlds? Like what?
Nah, maybe Dig. No. Dig would have been better.
Listen,
Yeah.
I saw Geki lock in EG for the finals winners of our pick on Sleeper, right? So
Sponsor Sleeper.
yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
So maybe back on match 2, I'm actually I think you guys gave some good cases for TSM. I'm actually going to give you the opposite case, and I'm going to give it to Team Liquid, not for a different reason though, right?
Okay.
I think it's going to be a coach gap. I think Bjergsen is going to be gapped by Jet when it comes to responding to picks, right?
Interesting.
Because Bjergsen is obviously a new coach, right? He doesn't have experience, and we see a lot, at least earlier in the split, but also sometimes with like the Corky pick. I think earlier on the Corky pick wasn't the strongest, including wasn't the strongest on PLE. I think we see a little bit. We see their drafting is not amazing, right? And again, I can't blame Bjergsen. He's a new coach. But Jat has, not only does he have the experience from the previous splits, but he also has experience playing at Worlds in 2020. So I actually think it's going to be a bit of a coach gap, because I think if we look at like from top lane, jungle, mid, bot support, I think you can make arguments that either the Team Liquid's side has a better top laner, or TSM's jungle or bot laner is stronger. So I think they actually have like Spell said, a really good contention, right, for finals, right? These two teams, and they are really close. And I think since they're so close, I think it's going to come down to like macro decisions, or like you like drafting, right? So I think I'm going to give TL a slight edge, because of drafting, which means I think it's going to be TSM versus EG, and I think EG is a little bit too chaotic.
It's true.
To play against TSMs,
I just love how chaotic EG is, man. Like the Jizuke, Ignar just like going in, and it's just like, what are you guys doing? It makes no sense, but it's so good.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. All right. And then we have the Dignitas matchup. So, what do you guys think? I assume it's gonna be 100 Thieves there, but
I just want to give it
know.
to. I just want to give it to Dig, man. They've had such a crazy split, a comeback story. It would definitely be like the narrative would definitely be really good there if Dignitas somehow pulled one under on 100 Thieves. I want it to happen. I believe in the Dongers, and I want the Dongers to rise again. That's all I want, dude.
Yeah. Honestly, Dignitas, again, there have been an org that have been here for like such a long time. I'm happy to see that like they're all NA too. This is an all North American team. Like I think it's the only one, right?
No imports. There was
that huge rule. So it's the fact that it's all North Americans. I just want them to do well. The fact that they're here, the fact that they got number 5 too, because like a lot of people rated them like number 9.
True.
So the fact that they're here is great, but I feel like they can they have a decent playoffs bracket, and the fact that they got 5th too and not 6th, so they don't have to verse Team Liquid or TSM right away is something that you want. So we'll see how it pans out, but yeah, that's pretty much it for our mid-season split analysis. So
thank you so much.
Yeah,
that was really cool, especially as someone who only watches like highlights I see on Twitter. I don't really watch full games unless it's Worlds. It's always nice to see a little like recap of exactly what is going on in the scene.
Yeah.
All right. So
it's good too, because it's not these best of ones, so we're gonna get some pretty good games. So I'm excited for all this.
Definitely. again, thank you so much for being on the segment and letting us know your knowledge. Our next segment is going to be a senior superlative segment because of the Battle Academia skin line coming back, and we're gonna have Please Buff Jade and Jayla Ray on that. So we're gonna go over a few different senior superlatives and giving the league champions their own one as sort of like a fun little lore segment. I made that picture. I hope you enjoy it. Of that. Hello, Jay and Jade.
Hi.
Gamers.
I always forget that I have to turn on my mic on OBS so they can hear me.
Our
Yes.
queen. I
Hello.
love the picture that you put together.
It's a good one.
you.
It
It's a
really
good
doesn't
picture.
capture what we're trying
Yeah.
to do today. So,
Yes.
I am excited to argue about our choices. I tried to not do the obvious answer. So I hope we all did the same thing for a good civilized debate.
Nah,
I'm
let's get
excited.
rowdy. Between the ball pit, let's go.
Okay. What is the first one that we're doing?
Let's do the most likely to sell or buy gamer bathwater.
Oh,
gamer go
buy.
bathwater, or it could be gender neutral too.
Okay. So what's the order? Let's establish an order. A civil order. To go
Rin,
around
do you
in.
want to go first? Then Jay, then me.
Sure.
If I were to pick, and I'm doing this based off of voice lines from Caitlyn from her new skin. If I were to pick someone who's really not showing up in class and doing well, I would probably pick Lux.
Oh?
From what Caitlyn says that, oh, you're Luxana, you must be the family disappointment. What would the family disappointment do? She's gonna sell her bathwater. It's pretty bad. No offense to Jay.
Oh my god.
I would say Lux, but I feel like there are other champions that I don't know. I feel like Lux is too much of a goody two shoes.
Yeah, I feel like she's
Yeah.
too conservative.
It's all up
especially
front.
with her upbringing.
Cosmic Lux. Dark
It's all
Cosmic
up
Lux.
front.
There's
man.
only one person Lux is sending bathwater to, and he's in the cells at Demacia. So
True.
He's
it's
50.
yeah.
Calm down.
I go ahead.
Oh no, you can keep going.
No, I was trying to think of I don't know, I feel like Lux is a little too pure. I would think if there's anyone that was going to sell bathwater, I think maybe it would be someone without a lot of money or someone with a lot of money. So Seraphine is like resident e-girl. She kind of
Yes.
gives me Belle Delphine vibes with the pink hair. And not only that, there's tons of people who have drawn her doing faces that Belle Delphine does. So I could see Seraphine doing it. Seraphine also goes between Zahn and Piltover, so I feel like she's got shrimps in both.
Good supply chain, to-
She's got she's but to
Serious.
buy, but going on with the Zahn thing, I think Urgot.
Yeah, no, he's a lonely
Urgot
boy.
was another person I
Urgot
said
main,
in a
I
past
agree.
episode that Urgot had a foot fetish. It's because he's creepy, and I think he would also buy bathwater. Maybe that's
See
true.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah, I.
Am I talking?
Yeah, good.
Oh, you can go. Yeah, no.
Oh.
Who do you think, Jade?
I said Jana because I feel like she has that line. She's like, "Yes, it's true. For only $2.95 a minute, I will leave you breathless." Right? like she most definitely does it on the side, and I don't know, she's so she doesn't talk about the fact that she does risky stuff on the side, but she definitely enjoys it, and I feel like a lot of guys would definitely go for her, especially since she's shoeless, and like a lot of guys are like into like the full feet thing, you know? She doesn't wear shoes, so it's good for them. And I also said Rakan because I feel like Rakan sells bathwater and Zaya just doesn't care. Like she's just like, okay, whatever, because he's not gonna actually like go, and she's confident in their relationship enough where she could be like, yeah, you can go sell your bathwater because you're not gonna like cheat on me with any other
Zaira Khan
bird bitch.
double teaming an
So-
OnlyFans account. That's all.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That would
And
be
They post
like,
on the
squish.
hub for sure.
make
saying.
a video where-
Ramus Gobert said Nami seawater. True. Nami has an unlimited supply of her
Unlimited.
bathwater. Wow.
Right.
That's big money. What about you, Mello? What do you think?
For like doing it, I feel like it would start off as a joke with Set, because he'd be like, "Oh, why are you girls gonna do this? What the hell? Like, why can't I do that?" Like, you know what? You could actually do that. I'm like, LOL, LOL, so random. Let's actually do it, and actually sells. And then he makes it only friends, and like it's actually very like fruititious for him, and he gets like a huge market share, and then he goes like hard in on that market. I feel like Set would, again, it would start off a joke, and then he just gets serious because he sees like the real money, and I feel like Aphelios would buy his gamer bro bathwater. I feel like for him specifically, Aphelios would.
Like those guys on TikTok where they buy the entire Belle Delphine collection and they like flex it for some reason. Is that Aphelios and Set?
Yes!
Oh my god! Like sells Set condoms with like his face on them. Oh jeez!
Yeah,
Oh
like-
Jesus Christ! Lord help us!
Set would do that. Set would.
That's the
Set
last
just tasting the
thing he
water.
sees before he goes to town with whoever he's going to.
Oh god,
Yes.
that's not what I want to picture.
Okay, the TikTok one, right?
Yes,
She's most
most
likely
likely
to blow up on
up.
TikTok.
Yes.
All right, Ren, that's all you got.
I think it's kind of obvious who would really be the one to get on a social media platform because she has a social media platform, which it would be Seraphine. But on a
Yeah.
boy side, I would want it to be Aphelios because he's the pretty boy.
He's E-boy.
pretty
He
mute-
is
mute E-boy.
resident.
It would
E-boy.
it's a close tie between Aphelios and Ezreal, and I think I want to give it to Aphelios.
No,
'Cause
Ezreal's
we
on
have
straight
similar hair.
TikTok.
God.
Like
Ezreal
I
would
don't-
make
I don't want
POV.
it.
But
Like,
straight TikTok does the
POV.
best. Straight people on TikTok, they have the millions of followers. I feel like any member of KDA would blow up on TikTok. Because
Oh,
they
yeah.
dance. Look, Akali, Kaisa, next Charlie D'Amelio. Don't even come for me. They can dance. I think that they would blow up, or just KDA as a whole would be like
Mhm.
the fifth harmony of TikTok.
True.
But if it was a dude, I do feel like Ezreal would probably blow up. He'd be the I'm
Wait,
trying
would
to
you,
think
like,
of
look
I'm
at
trying to
these?
think of like people on
Give it
straight
daddy.
TikTok
Maybe
that
such a
that
picky
have
boy.
not been groomers within the last few weeks.
Ugh.
Yeah, I think Ezreal, but I think there's probably other people that could blow up.
Yeah.
I'd want like an e-boy group of
An e-boy.
Seth, Aphelios, Ezreal.
A better question is which male league champs would have worn a maid outfit during the whole maid fiasco?
Aphelios.
Oh,
100% Aphelios.
Tarek.
Tarek.
I actually have him
Oh my
as
God.
my
Mm-mm-mm.
blowing up
Rakan would have
basically
worn.
because he's a himbo, and I feel like a lot of people would comment like I feel protected, and he'd be known as like a lesbian protector. And people would just like feel safe around him. Like that would be a
He'd
lot of
hold
his,
my drink at a
his
party.
things. Yeah. No, that's sort of
Tarek,
like a
hold
meme
my
in itself on TikToks, and I feel
Hello,
like he
dog.
would fit that.
Dog.
Big stretch.
Aw.
Big stretch.
Bellaray making his appearance on the Pisslo.
I said okay. I think like obviously the Seraphine Ari because people like hot girls. But like I feel like Kiana would have like a really good platform because she's like royal or whatever, and she'd also be one of those people where like she has like the worst attitude ever, but people just dig it. Like instead of like calling her out, like people wouldn't be like, oh my god, she's so like cocky. People would be like, I love the confidence queen, keep it up, oh my god. And she would just continue that persona for life because everyone would love it. And I also think like Silas would be really, really good like political TikToker, and he would just like the stuff he says is so like, oh my god, like fight the power or some shit like that. Like people would dig it, and there would be a lot of people in the comments having heated debates, which would boost his algorithm.
Yeah.
I think is fair. What about you, Milo? How you feeling on it?
I mean, I think political Silas would definitely make sense. Again, like I feel like Tarek, and then of course like Ari's very obvious like social media type e-girl pick, but like I feel like she would also do like song covers and like promote her Spotify mostly.
Hmm. Okay. And then, wow, the next one is so different.
Yeah,
it's so sad. Who's
most likely to die
die
alone.
Oh no.
Oh.
That's sad.
Garen, because his wife is Demacia.
True.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with the most wholesome, sad but not really sad, because I feel like that's kind of sad, but at the same time,
I get
think she's
Galio
okay.
would join them maybe.
Galio will never die.
Not
Galio
like
will
hit
never
cat.
die.
Doesn't he like hit cat? Like doesn't he
Yeah.
cat?
Enemies to lovers.
Oh, true.
That's hot.
Yeah.
How you feeling, Ren? What do you think?
I think. Okay, so I know a lot of people would be happy for this because of how he is in game, but canonically, if I were to pick someone, I think it'd be Yasuo.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
everyone around him
Really?
is dead. And,
Oh.
Who wants
like,
to date
Life is like the
Yasuo?
wind.
like, I know a lot of people hate Yasuo in game, but I think the best part about Yasuo is what he is out of game, which is the lore. I think he has the best, like one of the best lores in the game, and he, like, everyone's dead. I don't know how else to explain it. Everyone else is
I'm
dead.
sad.
He two-shot his brother IRL. Like, I don't know. I feel like it'd be Yasuo who'd die alone because he is kind of alone right now.
Alright.
Okay. I mean,
I
that's
can
fair.
see
All
that.
deserved.
Also, C Squish said, in lore-wise, Yasuo is a good answer.
Yeah.
I've watched all the Necro videos.
Yes. I feel that.
I love his and Riven's lore. I read it and I watch it all the time.
I can't. You can't tell me that they don't have hot steamy hate sex. I don't care. I know
Ooh,
that
yes,
I
I
know
like
they
it.
meet up at like midnight and they like fight and they're like, and then they have their intercourse and then they like go off to try to kill each other again. You can't tell me that's not what they do.
Seems legit.
see it.
Yeah.
Jay,
So-
you sticking to your Garen?
I think
Answer?
so. I think I'm
Garen.
gonna stick to Garen.
All
That
right.
or
I feel
I like Fizz also. I think Fizz will probably die alone because
Well deserved.
he's just well deserved. Yeah, fuck Fizz, but he's also just like trying to find his species because they all got wiped out. So
Y'all dead.
yeah,
That's why your mama dead.
that's why your mama dead.
Oh god.
Oh no.
And you
Dead as hell.
dead as hell.
I feel like if they were like actually voting like the League of Legends champs in a classroom just for like a joke and maybe low-key true, they would vote for Ezreal because he's a fuckboy and they just want to
Mhm.
get under his skin. Like, will it actually happen? Probably not. But like there's so many people that are more deserving of love than Ezreal when Ezreal feels like he actually deserves something when he really doesn't.
True.
So that's me.
Eric will always be by his
Me.
side. Secretly.
True.
Okay, obviously like Amumu, right? Like
Yeah.
obviously he's gonna die alone. Sucks to suck. But I said Timo because he literally broke up with Tristana over his trauma. Like he's literally like,
Aw.
I have Vietnam War flashbacks, so we can't, I'll bang you once more, but like we can't keep this going. I feel like he just will not get over his war crimes or whatever it is that he can't sleep over at night. And he's gonna die alone, and I am okay with that. I think
too.
that's fine.
I'll be with Timo.
What a rat.
No,
Another
no,
well-deserved,
let him rot.
well-deserved death.
Alright. And then the last one is the cutest couple award. Rin, you want to start us off?
Oh, damn. So I feel like the obvious one is for someone who's played both these champions a lot, especially because I mained both of them at the same time in the beginning when I played it would be Ezreal Lux. But Jade brought up a really good point of the hate sex between Riven and Yasuo. So I feel like that would be my cutest couple because they have the most mastery points for my champions. But then again,
Nice.
I just love Zaya Rakan, even though
Mhm.
it's not fun to pick an actual couple. Like it's not as fun.
Yeah.
I do love that. But something came up in the new video where we saw Samira
And
and
Darius.
Darius.
Yeah.
Maybe something
Ooh.
there.
Hot.
Yes.
They're
That'd be a
I
good
can
one.
see something there.
That'd be a good one.
Yes.
What about you, Jay? What do
I
you think?
I love Nidalee and Nico. I think that's a great.
Aw.
That's very cute.
Yes. Very wholesome.
I mean, if this was another kind of show, I'd say Lux and Silas, but again,
1 minute.
he's definitely like 50 years old.
No.
But I think Nico and Nidalee definitely are probably
Yeah,
the
Nidalee
cutest.
MILF.
Very cute.
Mating
Yes.
season.
Ooh.
No, wait a minute.
Mating. At first I said Garrett Cat because I think it's hot that they have like the
Mhm.
rivalry thing, and then I was just like Varys, just Varys, because doesn't he count as like a couple? Like he's just like two men.
It's up 3 guys in 1. Like
Three?
there you
He's
go.
3.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's a demon and 2 guys just vibing. They
Just
just vibing.
vibing.
It's a they
There's-
a throuple.
Yeah, there we go. Go poly couples. There's your representation.
two
That's
guys
Varys.
make out, and then there's a demon that just sort of watch.
Yeah, he watches. And then obviously like Trist Rumble, because Rumble is such a
Yes.
shrimp for Trist.
An awkward moment when you make out with your boyfriend and all of a sudden you become an ascended god. Whoops. Awkward.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Tristan and Rumble is such a cute answer.
He didn't name his gun after,
Tristy.
or not his gun.
The
His
the
thingy.
suit, yeah.
His suit.
Yeah. Trish should have gotten a Space Groove skin with him. They should have correlating skins.
That would be cute.
It'd be
But
cute.
doesn't Tristana not reciprocate it? She's like,
Oh, I thought they were
I
dating.
don't think
Are
it
they?
says.
And wasn't there like
Sure.
a cinematic? I think it was like a
it was
pentakill
the
cinematic,
pentakill
right?
None of the
cinematic.
pentakill, he tries
They
to
were
give
like
her a
having little
flower.
Yordle love eyes or something. Ugh, Yordles.
Aw.
What about you, Mela? How you feel?
I would have to go with Leona and Dan. I love the trope of friends to rivals to enemies to lovers.
Slow
And they
burn.
have so much history, like slow burn, 400 words, major character death, like hurt, comfort, tag on the AO3, and dynamic so much, especially their voice lines together and like Legends of Runeterra, and they are so darn cute together. It's one of those ships that are like they're basically canon. There is every coded like in the writing that is canon. We're just waiting for like the official Riot Twitter accounts to do it. Like Nico, especially like Diana being in love with Leona. That side especially is pretty.
The way they
explicit,
looked at each
so-
other in the cinematic.
I was like, damn, girls, you gay. Like, there ain't anything
You
straight
gay.
heterosexual about this. There's
Good
no
for them.
heterosexual
Good for
explanation.
them.
These
Good for
bitches
them.
gay.
Exactly.
Good
for them.
Yes,
For them.
I'd go with that.
Haruna
That's a
said
cute answer. I like
Senalution.
that.
Senalution.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Especially
Power
right now.
couple.
Oh, Viego and his wife.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not a great
Oh, they-
couple, but he, you know. She
And
did maybe kill him, possibly, but he
He
doesn't
tries
remember, so
more
it's
than
fine.
most boyfriends.
He
I'm not
does.
sure how many
He
boyfriends would
traveled over the
destroy an entire
seas
world.
to get his queen back.
Yeah.
His queen.
His Discord
queen.
kitten.
Yeah.
God.
It's so true.
Discord mom.
Jeez.
All
Oh,
right. Well, thank you, Jade and Jay, for coming on for
Yes.
this segment. It was super with all these different senior superlatives,
Heck
especially with
yeah.
the Battle Academia skin line coming out. So I hope y'all have a
I
great
did want to
day.
say that Samira skin is beautiful. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
A Samira skin is
It's-
beautiful.
I
It's
think
alright.
I just don't.
It's
like,
my second
I-
favorite.
I just don't think it fits her. Is
Really?
The thing.
Well, yeah, but
Like,
I mean,
it's the same. Like I said before, it's the same to Quinn and her Heartseeker skin.
Mhm.
Why
Yeah.
does she like Quinn? She does not wear those kind of mini skirts.
That's the head is a
you
hamster.
cannot tell me that. You cannot tell me Quinn wears that on
when
the
Lux
regular.
becomes an astral being of darkness, I'll say that her dark Lux skin fits her.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think
Ugh.
I am very excited for the group skins, but that's all. That's all I want to
Oh,
say.
absolutely. I
Especially
need a
for
Lux
5
skin.
stacks. 5 stacks,
Yes.
Space Jam.
Lux
Let's
skin.
go.
Woo!
Lux skin pog. Okay, bye.
Alright, bye.
All right.
All
And now,
right.
as always, as we always end it, we need to have our Pisslo Player of the Week. Woo!
Yes, which is actually going to go and be a hard league TikToker as well as streamer, and puts together some very nice ASMR type TikTok. I really like their content like that way. It's very soothing. Very soothing. Hey, Haru, welcome.
Oh, hello,
welcome.
hello,
How
Welcome,
are
gamer.
you?
hello. It's me. I'm doing alright.
Oh my gosh, I love that filter. You're
Thank you, thank you.
adorable.
That's me.
How are you doing?
The flowers are not part of the filter. That's just their room.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
I just have like a bag of flowers, just prepared just for this very moment. I'm doing alright. How y'all doing?
Awesome. So let's get into it. How did you get into League of Legends? Like, how long have you been playing the game?
I've been playing the game since like freshman year of high school, so since season
Whoa.
4. So right after Braum was released, I started playing right before Nar was released. I didn't know how to pronounce Nar. I remember specifically calling it Gnar.
Yo, I used to do that too.
I still do it now, just as a
Gnar.
meme. I'll still call him Gnar.
Gnar. Oh, that's awesome. And like, who do you generally play and like what role?
No matter what, because I like to play all the champions, because it's just such a diverse champion pool with 154 champions. I always gravitate towards 80 carries for some reason. It's just like no matter what.
I'm so sorry.
I
No
know
matter
it's
the
it's
season.
painful. It's painful.
Pain.
80 carries. We just like being in pain.
Nice.
Like I mostly I like Kaisa a lot. It's always resonated with me. I like Jin a lot, and then some non-80 carry champions. I like Ari, I like Soraka, and then like Nami, just randomly there.
Nice. Yeah, no, she's always really cool. So about like TikTok content, like why did you decide to like start that up, and what do you want to do with it? I know your editing's actually gotten a lot better too, so like that's such a cool skill to have too.
Okay, so it's like not a super long story. It started out in like high school. Like unironically, my senior superlative was future Twitch superstar, because I would always be playing League during class, like on my laptop during lectures. I will be playing League because I'm like, I don't need to pay attention. I just did things. And then I've been trying to get into like streaming and making content, but like since then for like 4 or 5 years, I just never really had the equipment to do it. And then 6 months ago, I finally said, you know what? I'm going to build a PC. And I make this joke saying whenever something depressing happens, I decide to do something. So like my girlfriend broke up with me at that time. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to build a really nice PC, start streaming, and then start making content. Because at the time, I kind of like, how do I word it? I became sort of friends with this other TikTok creator, and they were like, hey, you should just, edit some content, post it on TikTok, and see where it happens. So I did that, and eventually I just kept making content to where I'm right now. So like compared to where I was like 6 months ago, I think my content's been getting a lot better at editing. Like I teach myself random things. Like the other day I learned how to like fade in a video, like make the background blurry, and I was like, I went wild with that. I'm like, I know how to do this.
Yeah, no, it's definitely just like one thing at a time. It's like so much easier.
Yeah, it's always like, especially someone who makes clips just like I do. It's always a learning process, because you're like, well, I've kind of made the same video about like 500 times. I kind of want to add some spice to it. So it's like, first it goes putting the entire clip, and it's like, all right, let me ratio this down so people can actually see what's going on. And then it's like, oh, well, now I kind of want to add some flair to this. So
yeah, like I used to like just upload direct clips from Twitch, and then like the ratio wasn't right until I learned there's something called sequence settings, and I'm like, wow, I don't have to like wait a minute, I can just export it to it's perfectly ratioed for TikTok.
Nice.
It's always the move.
Yeah,
I don't want to see your clips, chat, that are like 50 times zoomed out. Please ratio your stuff.
Yes, and here is Haru's TikTok if you want to go check them out. They also do Twitch streaming as well. Yes, I put it right in there. Also, to wrap it up, what is your favorite of the new space skins, would you say?
So as an AD carry main, people are gonna expect Samira. As Rin said, it feels kind of out of place. Like it looks nice, it just feels out of place lore wise. I actually really like the Lulu skin, because like Lulu hasn't got a skin since Pajama Party, and that wasn't even like a real skin. It was just like one of those, hey, skin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like it. The helmet, the prestige skin helmet really sells it. It's really nice. But like all the skins from that line looks really nice because like they're like little dogs and cats just trapped inside robots. So I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's so cute.
Really random, but
Right.
you know, really cool.
We'll take it. Well, thank you so much for your time, Haru, for coming to this interview as a fellow League talker. And I hope you have a lovely day. Content flourishes.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes.
All right, now you can either stay or you can go, but we're going to wrap up the show. And that has been episode 7 of the Pisslo podcast. From me, from Wonder, from everyone from the show, and especially from Haru over here. We love you all, and we want to thank you all for coming out, and we will definitely see you guys next week as always.
All right. See y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.